So the product rule gave us a way to find the derivative when things were multiplied. So the next thing you might think about, what if they are divided instead? So we have what's called the quotient rule. So we need f and g to both be differentiable. I'm not going to write that down. We also need that g doesn't equal 0. So we're not dividing by 0, which the function wouldn't even make sense to begin with if that were the case. And with that, the derivative of f divided by g is derivative of the top, so derivative of the first times the second minus the first times the derivative of the second all over the bottom squared. Now, a lot of things that we have to be careful of with this. So this is one of the reasons why I start with derivative of the first for the product rule, because if I think of the first as the top, this also starts with the derivative of the first, derivative of the top. Because it's a minus here, it's very important that you have this in the right order. I see a lot of mistakes where people get this in the reverse order. And then the bottom is just the original denominator squared, no derivatives on the bottom. We're not going to go through the proof of why this formula looks the way it does. We're just going to practice it. Now, there's a mnemonic device that I don't know for any other rules. Where it's low-de high, high-de low, low, low. Whatever works, but you know, this is an interesting mnemonic device that some people like. So let's look at an example. We're asked to find the derivative of f of t, which is 4t plus 5 over 2 minus 3t squared. And we're asked to find the derivative of this. Now again, remember how I verbalized derivative of the first or derivative of the top. I didn't memorize f prime because I don't want to get confused with what's going on when our entire function is called f. So I have derivative of the top and derivative of the bottom we have to be looking at. So when we do this, using the quotient rule, we have the derivative of the top is just 4 times the bottom. That's what that is, except I have t's instead of x's, minus the top, 4t plus 5, times the derivative of the bottom. Being very careful, derivative of the bottom, this would be 0, and then we'd have minus 6t. All over the bottom squared. So there is a lot of simplification we can do with this. Simplify the top, multiply these terms through. Lots of room for error. Be careful with parentheses. If you forget the parentheses around this, then it looks like subtraction. Lots of problems if you forget to write parentheses in the right spot and forget that that's a minus.